USS America intercept Chinese ships in disputed waters near Malaysia's China. 2 U.S. warships are operating in the South China Sea, the Navy said on Tuesday, with 3 regional security sources saying they were near an area of a standoff between China and Malaysia. The Haiangdazi-8, a Chinese government research ship, was spotted last week conducting a survey close to an exploration vessel operated by Malaysia state oil company Petronas, months after it undertook a similar patrol off Vietnam. The incident prompted the United States to call on China to stop its bullying behavior in the disputed waters, citing concern over Beijing's provocative actions towards offshore oil and gas developments there. The U.S. State Department has said China was taking advantage of the region's focus on the coronavirus pandemic to coerce its neighbors. The USS America amphibious assault ship and the USS Bunker Hill, a guided missile cruiser, have been deployed and were operating in the South China Sea, U.S. Indo-Pacific Command spokeswoman Nicole Schwegman said on Tuesday. Through our continued operational presence in the South China Sea, we are working to promote freedom of navigation and overflight, and the international principles that underpin security and prosperity for the Indo-Pacific, Schwegman said in an emailed statement to Reuters. The U.S. supports the efforts of our allies and partners to determine their own economic interests, Rear Admiral Fred Catcher, commander of the USS America Expeditionary Strike Group, told Reuters that his forces had interacted with Chinese naval forces in the South China Sea this week. All our interactions continue to be safe and professional with them, Catcher said in a telephone interview from the USS America. USS America has steamed to intercept a Chinese government survey ship and several of its China Coast Guard escorts after they ventured into contested waters off the coast of Malaysia, amid an international maritime standoff between the 2 Asian nations. The United States called on China to stop its bullying behavior in the South China Sea on Saturday, citing concerning reports regarding Beijing's provocative actions aimed toward offshore oil and gas developments in Malaysia's mineral-rich exclusive economic zone, EEZ. US officials accused China of taking advantage of the distraction posed by the coronavirus outbreak to increase its maritime presence in the region, ordering them to desist. However, the warning was clearly not heeded, and China's survey ship Haiangdazi-8 has persisted with a number of patrols close to Malaysian oil platforms in the South China Sea, namely the West Capella drill ship, which sparked territory contentions between China and Malaysia when it began exploration activities in October. With USS Theodore Roosevelt temporarily sidelined in Guam after suffering a high-profile coronavirus outbreak on board, USS America is currently the most significant operational naval asset the U.S. Navy has in the region. The amphibious assault ship, with a fleet of Marine F-35B Lightning II stealth jets, MV-22Bs tiltrooters and CH-53 helicopters on board, was seen sailing at high speed towards West Capella late Sunday to intercept the Chinese vessel Haiangdazi-8 and its some 10 Chinese Coast Guard escorting boats, have been operating around 200 nautical miles off the coast of East Malaysia for several days. The contested waters are claimed by Malaysia, Vietnam and China. West Capella, which is under contract to Malaysian oil company Petronas, has triggered a flurry of patrols from China Coast Guard and maritime militia ships, Vietnamese maritime militia ships and ships of the Royal Malaysian Navy and Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, since its commission 6 months ago. Despite all the activity, no at-sea incidents have yet been reported, and all three governments are content to keep matters out of the public eye. Rival countries have wrangled over territory in the South China Sea for centuries, but tensions have steadily increased recently. On Wednesday, Hai-Ang-Desi-8 was spotted operating off Vietnam, where it had last year conducted suspected oil exploration surveys in large expanses of Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. The ship appeared to have started a survey in waters 352 kilometers, 218 miles, off the coasts of Brunei and Malaysia, just north of Malaysia's exclusive economic zone, EEZ, near waters claimed by both Vietnam and Malaysia. The United States is concerned by reports of China's repeated provocative actions aimed at the offshore oil and gas development of other claimant states, the U.S. State Department said in an emailed statement in response to questions on the Hai-Ang-Desi-8's presence in the area. In this instance, China should cease its bullying behavior and refrain from engaging in this type of provocative and destabilizing activity, it said. In response, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesman had said the ship was conducting normal activities and accused U.S. officials of smearing Beijing. The latest incident in Malaysia came just a week after China took advantage of the USS Theodore Roosevelt being crippled by the coronavirus by sending an aircraft carrier and fighter jets close to the disputed territory of Taiwan. Taiwan's defense ministry said the Liaoning, China's first operational aircraft carrier, and 5 accompanying warships passed first through the Miyako Strait, located between Japan's islands of Miyako and Okinawa, to the northeast of Taiwan, on Saturday. The USS Roosevelt and USS Ronald Reagan are the only 2 US carriers in the Pacific, but both have been forced to dock due to confirmed coronavirus cases on board, which effectively gives China free range in the region. With the U.S. vessels in port, the Liaoning, which can carry up to 24 J-15 fighter jets, is currently the only aircraft carrier active in the Western Pacific. The USS America is officially classed as an amphibious assault ship, not an aircraft carrier, despite being able to launch fighter jets from its deck. On Sunday, the Liaoning's carrier group, which includes 2 missile destroyers, 2 missile frigates, and a supply ship, sailed in waters on Taiwan's east coast and then into seas to the south of Taiwan, carrying out exercises, the ministry said. In response to China, the U.S. Air Force and Navy put on a show of strength with the runway formation of a dozen B-52 bombers and other aircraft on Monday. Taiwan also said its armed forces monitored the carrier group's progress throughout and completed relevant actions in response to ensure national security and protect regional peace and stability. There was no immediate response from China's defense ministry.